this week, the Colonels could just about wrap up another district title if they could get by the Western Wildcats, another team in the hunt for a playoff berth. It's Plantation versus Western, this week's big game.
Western seemed to welcome a chance to play at home against the state's top-ranked team, Plantation. However, after Western's first possession went nowhere, Plantation put on a scoring display worthy of that #1 ranking. After carrying the brunt of the opening drive, running back O'Neal Sandiford put the icing on the cake with his 15-yard dash into the end zone to put Plantation up 6-0. Western fought right back when quarterback Todd Daly kept it himself for a 42-yard gain down to Plantation's 13-yard line. The Colonel defense then stiffened, and Western had to settle for a 24-yard field goal by Jeff Burdick, and that closed the gap to 6-3. With the score 12-3, Plantation just exploded. On the very first play of the second quarter, Ryan Schneider hooked up with prime target Kevin Beard. It was poetry in motion on this 55-yard scoring pass, and Plantation's lead was 20-3. Later in the second quarter, Western's Robert Walker punched it in from 7 yards out on this nifty run, and Plantation's lead was cut to 27-11 with only 22 seconds left in the half. But 22 seconds was all Plantation needed, because on its next possession, Schneider and Beard continued their mastery of the passing game with a 73-yard bomb to extend their lead to 33-11 at the half. The second half was more of the same, and Plantation closed out its scoring with this nice run after the catch by Anthony Owens. In fact, Plantation scored on its first 7 possessions and went on to win 46-25 to maintain its #1 state ranking.
This year we were bound and determined to come out and prove to everybody that that was a great win against St. Thomas, but Western is the important game because they were one of the leaders in our district, and we wanted to take that lead in the district. And now we look at Cooper City, the next game in our district.
Don Brennan here with Michelle Gardner of the Sun Sentinel. Michelle, once again, Plantation showing why they're #1 in the state.
The GMAC Volleyball Championship. Now, unfortunately for Braddock High, they did not win the title, but still, that loss does not diminish the outstanding year the Challengers have had. They have really learned the true meaning of teamwork while earning respect all throughout South Florida. So we're still proud to present the Braddock girls as our Movico Team of the Week. Here's Don Brennan.
Attention, South Florida, a new volleyball power has arrived. The Braddock Challengers, our Movico Team of the Week, after posting the best regular season record in school history.
We've had about the same team for like 2 years now, and I think that helps us develop as a team, you know, working with the same people.
They seem to have a lot of fun together. They like playing with each other, and they enjoy each other's company, which is probably as important as anything else.
When people think volleyball in Miami-Dade, they think Sunset. But the Braddock Challengers are changing the way people are thinking. They upset Sunset in the opener and have started the season with 15 straight victories.
At the beginning of our season, I knew we had a special team. Last year we were really good. Too bad we couldn't go as far as we want to go this year. I think as a team we work well. We're united on the court and off the court. I think that's what works.
This team has also got its act together off the court. This team that wins together also studies together.
Yeah, we always have spare time before late games, and we always go upstairs in the locker room, do homework together. We help each other.
They're not struggling in the classroom, and I think that's why they're successful on the court. A couple of them have 4.0 averages. A few of them are taking AP classes. So for the most part, they're in the 3.0 and above.
But as successful as this season has been, can the Challengers challenge for a state title? These players say yes.
I think we can make it all the way to states and even win it. I think we can. We just have to work hard, and we all have to have the mentality and know that we can win. I think we can.
Congratulations to the Braddock Challengers volleyball team, our Movico Team of the Week.
This game between Central and Northwestern was more than just a district battle. It was a head-to-head confrontation of the county's top 2 runners, Northwestern's Torrey Cox and Central's Rochelle Spain. But before Cox could get his hands on the ball, the Bulls made a mistake. Theodore Richardson fumbles the opening kickoff, and Central's Ernest Brutus makes the recovery. Northwestern later moved downfield, but Central's defense came up with a goal line stand to be remembered. Quincy Yaw sacked Allison Sheffield on 4th and goal, stopping the Bulls' drive. But later in the first quarter, Northwestern finally broke through, Sheffield hitting Lamont Finney for 29 yards. Finney just unable to get into the end zone, but Cox finished the job, punching it in from the 1 for a 6-0 Bulls lead. It remained that way until the third quarter. That's when Northwestern's defensive line pressured Central into this interception. Yul Brown picks it off and goes down the sideline. Coaches, players, everyone wants to run with him, but he goes untouched for an 88-yard touchdown, giving the Bulls a 12-0 lead. But Spain would not allow the Rockets to fall quietly. He rips off the 63-yard touchdown run late in the third quarter. Northwestern's Sidney Simpson can't catch him. That narrowed the margin to 12-6 in favor of the Bulls. But Northwestern would hold on and ice the game late in the fourth quarter on this 10-yard touchdown by Cox. Northwestern stays undefeated, taking the big district battle from Central 19-6.
All week long, they've been coming out to our school, telling us that what they're going to do. But we've been just keeping calm, and we knew they was going to come out hard tonight and play football, and we just came out to play.
Well, this week, the two teams finally got to reschedule their game, and for South Broward, it was a chance for redemption after a big loss last week to Hollywood Hills. So let's get right to the action.
You've got to believe that South Broward, even though they've lost 3 straight, are ready to play the spoiler against South Dade. South Dade needs a win to go for the district title against Hollywood Hills. South Dade got off on the right foot when Antrell Roll picked off this deflected pass and took it up the sideline. With Delaney Mitchell as his personal escort, Roll went in after a 72-yard return for the score and a 7-0 lead early. But it was a seesaw battle all night. In the second quarter, with the score tied at 14, South Broward's Maurice Throw takes the handoff up the middle, breaks a tackle, cuts across the middle as he directs his blockers and scores on a 31-yard touchdown run to put the Bulldogs up 21-14 at the half. That is where it stood until the fourth quarter. South Dade's workhorse running back Jared Lundstedt bowled his way into the end zone from 7 yards out to tie it at 21. It ended that way after regulation play, so the teams lined up for a Kansas tiebreaker. South Dade got the ball first and made it count. On the very first play, Lundstedt scored on a 10-yard run. The extra point was good, and South Dade led 28-21. But the Bulldogs answered right back. Throw with this 10-yard touchdown run of his own, and then coach Antonio Williams surprised everyone by going for the 2-point conversion. Fullback Torrey Johnson plowed his way right to the goal line, but everyone held their breath awaiting the referee's call. It's good. Johnson was in and the celebration's on. South Broward upsets South Dade in overtime, 29-28.
Basically, we forgot everything else behind us and came out and made it a one-game, season. Take one game at a time, and the guys stepped up and they responded.
Hey, Mustangs, get fired up!
Cheerleaders and fans were fired up for this crosstown rivalry between MacArthur and Hollywood Hills. The Mustangs of MacArthur seemed fired up too when Jermel Williams hit Craig Garland. Garland took the short pass and turned it into a 65-yard touchdown. The Mustangs were out in front 7-0. Hollywood Hills took a page from MacArthur's book when Tavares Spillman caught this Eric Ignasiak pass and turned it into a long gain of his own. That play set up this 3-yard run for Leon Patterson, who easily scored to tie it at 7. Late in the second quarter, the Spartans got a break. Ignasiak's pass is deflected by Willie Barfield right into the hands of Tarvis Jonkins. Hollywood Hills scored 16 unanswered points for a 16-7 halftime lead. On to the second half, where MacArthur looked to get back into the game. They did it when the offensive line opened a big hole for this Roderick Brown 3-yard scoring run. The Mustangs decided to go for 2, and they did it with flair as John Ryan snapped to Kevin James. Then James threw it right back to Ryan in the end zone for the conversion. MacArthur cut the lead to 16-15, but Hollywood Hills was not done yet. The Spartans used a misdirection play to perfection. Patterson eluded a tackle by Gerard Taylor, and he was off to the downs for a 38-yard touchdown run, putting the Hills up 24-15 on their way to a 24-22 win and setting up their District 16 5A showdown Friday night against South Dade.
Moments from this week in high school sports, our plays of the week.
Our plays of the week begin at South Broward High School, where South Date's Antrell Roll makes the interception off the deflected pass and takes the ball down the near sideline all the way for a 72-yard touchdown. If you like that, how's this play for defensive effort? In the St. Thomas-Dillard game, George Lewis makes the fumble recovery for the Dillard Panthers. Half the St. Thomas team can't bring him down as he struggles for yardage. Finally, the play moves out of bounds. Great effort, George. But our play of the week comes from the MacArthur Mustang. Watch the center on this play. John Ryan runs into the end zone after snapping the ball and is wide open to catch the two-point conversion pass from Kevin James. The gadget play works, and it's our play of the week.
And welcome back. For our Movie Code Team of the Week segment, we take you this week to South Plantation High School, where the Paladins football team was practicing but enjoyed a well-deserved open date this week after reeling off 8 victories to start the season. But for South Plantation, its biggest challenge is still on the horizon. We introduce you to them now as our Movie Code Team of the Week.
The undefeated South Plantation football team used its week off to gear up for the 2 biggest games of its season versus St. Thomas and crosstown rival Plantation, games the Paladins lost last year.
Last year, it was the same spot right now. It's 8-0. We came in against St. Thomas and we lost. So we most definitely got to improve. I mean, if we finish 8-2 again, it'd be a failure to our season.
In terms of athletic ability, and Division I prospects, college prospects, this may be the best team I've been associated with at the school thus far.
The strength of the Paladins, their defense. Check out the scores. Take away a special teams touchdown by Flanagan and a defensive score by Piper, and South Plantation has allowed a grand total of 3 points all season.
Well, it starts with the defense. That's always our first concern. We have a lot of veterans on the defense, and we go out trying to shut out our opponents, not give them anything on the ground, and hope they can make big plays for our offense to take over.
Yeah, we're proud of our defense, but like I say, we need to pick it up on offense more. But our offense is going pretty well, and our defense is recording shutouts like we should.
At 8-0, this South Plantation team may be the most talented Coach Dan Marguerite has had in his 11 years here. But with 2 tough games remaining, they still have a lot to prove.
St. Thomas is the one that really is on our plate right now because they have playoff ramifications for us. It's a chance for us to play for a district title, seeding and so forth throughout the playoffs.
It's the biggest game because they're defending state champions. So if we beat them, I know we can beat anybody in the state.
Congratulations to the Paladins of South Plantation High School, our Movie Code Team of the Week.